Oh, good afternoon from a downcast Belton. It's all right. It's not raining, it's not snowing, so we can't complain, can we? And it's Friday. But you know what? When we used to say that, we used to, yeah, it's because the weekend's here. But do we actually split now? Weekends? I'm not quite sure. It all sort of rolls into one, doesn't it? Okay, what we're going to do today then, 5th of February, tile 110. It was quite a job yesterday, by the way, with all those tile swaps. Trust me, everybody's that got in here got swapped yesterday and sent out. There's a couple of international that are going to the post office today, but they'll be with you soon, I'm sure, so please don't panic. If you didn't see it on the big photographs, everything that came, they're there, so let's just see how it goes. Looking forward to seeing, your responses to that. Okay, what have we got then? Okay, I'm going to come in with my pen as usual. So yes, we're back to pen today. Got my pencil. I've got a few tortillons, which only means one thing. Woohoo! Pastels. Okay. And I've also got a grey pen. A dark grey, a Uniball. Really nice pen to use. Exactly the same sort of nib, but it just gives us a little bit of a contrast. But do you know what? If you haven't got it, doesn't matter. You can just do this with a regular pen, pencil, tortillon, no problem at all. It's just nice sometimes to bring a few extra things in, isn't it? So, okay, deep breath. We're ready for this one. Do you know what? If we tackled the one on Wednesday, which, yes, I know was a bit of a challenge, but we have to do it. If you can tackle that, you can tackle anything, honestly. I do have to up the challenge now and again, don't I? Because, we want to learn, and we do. And if we don't sort of just push ourselves now and again, then, it can get a little bit sort of stale. And we don't want that, do we? We want to sort of see how far we can push it. Okay, deep breath then. And I've got in my dots there. And I'm just going to come on in and I'm just going to create a border. There we go. Just a nice gentle line. Turning my tile as I go. Just taking my time. Now, I'm not wanting a wibbly wobbly curly corner border today. Chris, I do use the uni pin. If I just put that at the top there. Hang on a second so you can see it. Sakura actually don't do a grey pen. If they did, I'd be using theirs because I like their pens, but they don't do one, so I can't use it. The Unipin do have a lighter one as well. There we go. And you can actually get them from the range. They come in packs if you want. I've brought mine as separates before as well. So yeah, they're quite nice. Okay, sticking with my pencil. Oh, they don't go wrong. They're just a work in progress. It's not to worry about it. Okay, I've just sort of put myself a little bit of a break in between there. Let's just join that, okay? Remember the border in these grid lines, we're not going to see them and we're not going to want to see them later. So keep them really light. I tend to go a little bit heavier so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just going to now see I've got the space. I'm going to split it equal-ish into 3 separate lines. And then I'm going to bring the line down. Now, if you feel that you need to mark top and bottom, that's fine. Go ahead and mark it. But you see, I'm just ever so gently putting that guideline in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the same this side. So for those of you that love grids and organisation, this might just be your tile today. Not a zinger in sight, not a curve. Well, there is a little bit of a curve, but not serious curves. And it's all going to look fab, as always. There we go. All right. Oh, I know, Jan. Looking at them on the table, they've been here on our table in our classroom, building them up for weeks. They just look fabulous. I'm so proud of everybody. And if you're out there and you're thinking, oh, I'm glad I didn't put my tile in because I don't think it's good enough, or I'm not sure what I should be doing, please don't worry about that. It's certainly not about how good your tile is. No, Julie, no zingers. It's about you actually, you've taken the time and the effort to create something. Now, everybody's is going to be different. And the fact that you then send it in so we can send it to someone else, and that someone else might be having quite a bad day, they might have been on their own a lot, and it doesn't really matter what turns up in the post. You can look at it and you can see the beauty in every single one. So please don't think it's got to be absolutely perfect. It's just that act of taking part, I think, that it's really important. Okay, so now I'm going to come a little bit larger and I'm going to come in with my pen. Okay, and I'm just going to put a little bubble, not too large, just a little bubble look in the middle of that square, or the middle-ish. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same in every single grid space. Okay, now I'm using my black pen for this, so you can see that, look, it's my regular Sakura, it's an 02. So if you've bought one of my kits in the past, it's the same pen that you've got. Right, nice and gentle on it. So I know sometimes we can be a little bit heavy-handed, just relax into it. Okay, and then just keep it going. Breaking my way down. There we go. All right, nice and gentle. I suppose it's one thing just to sort of point out with your tiles, you know, write your full name on the back, please. Because when we were having a look yesterday, we got a couple that were, yeah, just similar initials, and it's a little bit tricky. So, okay. All right, just, you know, following through, just enjoying drawing bubbles, really. Oh, Sue, be careful what you wish for, you don't know what's coming. No, do you know what? I think if we just take our time and we just see how it goes. And I've got a plan, but I might change it. You never know. Until 10 minutes before the session, I couldn't find my plan, but it's all good. We're having a real good tidy up over here today because we're having two shows so close together. It's taken its toll on the place, as you can imagine. So we're in the process of tidying up a bit. Okay, we all got that. We're all at the same place. All right, I'm not going to start in the corner. I'm going to start where, you know, I've got a little bit of movement, I suppose. So I'm going to start here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a curve from here to here. So just a gentle one. There we go, from there to there. Okay, I'm just going to turn my tile, and then I'm going to do the same thing again, create a little curve from there to there. Now you will notice that, Leslie, yeah, it's not joining in the middle, you see, got a little bit of a gap there. So if I turn it round, and same again, and turn it round, and then same again. Okay, yeah, we did a live meeting over, you know, Microsoft Team yesterday with one of my suppliers, you know, where I get my pens from, and Leslie and I did sit there and we said, we're so sorry, we look a little bit dishevelled. we've done a few hours this week. No, me, don't you give her too much sympathy. She'll be expecting it all the time. Oh, I love you, Leslie. Okay. You see, it's got a dot in the middle. We'll come back to that in a little bit. We're not going to worry about that just yet. Joanne, yes, I am. I go on to Create and Craft about 3 times a month now. They wanted to sort of move it to that, which is great. And but these ones are really close together. But I don't mind. It's fine. Because then, obviously, I've got the rest of the month to work on March. There we go. Okay. really nailed it, yes. If you're a little bit heavy-handed, you see you've got this nib. It's very, very fine nib. It will push in if you press on a little bit too much. There are other pens available. Just let me have a look in my little box here if I've got one. Here we go. It's a Sakura just as before, but you see there it's got PN. If I was to open this, there we go. It's got a fine nib, but it's PN stands for plastic nib. And if I use it, you can still get your nice, neat, fine lines. There we go. We'll do one there. But it means that if you press on a little bit much, then, see, this one's going to sort of, the dot's down here somewhere, so I can only go so far down, see? So yeah, so you're not going to damage the nib. So that's, you see, it's quite a nice, see the difference? But it's the options there. So they won't do a particular size. You can press on and get a little bit heavier, but yeah, if this one's a bit of a dodgy one for you. Okay, so I'm going to create another row. So from here to here, you see I'm working my way along, and then on this one, you see? Julie, it's really tricky, really tricky. So yeah, just be a little bit careful with them. And it's the same, you know, as when we talk about being light with a pencil. If you find you're pressing on too hard, you see where I'm holding it? That could actually mean that you put a lot of pressure on. If you hold it further back and slightly more at a sharper angle, then you'll find that you won't be able to press on as much because the pressure's off the nib. Okay? All right, and same down here. You see, I'm not going to turn my tile now. You please feel free to do so. That'll hopefully give you a similar shaped sort of curve, but there we go. And then in with this one. And see this one, again, the bubble's going to be down here, so you're going to get a little bit of one. And then this one, you've got to focus with this, because if you're not careful, you don't want those curves going in a different way. Trust me, I've done that. All right, so here we go again. So into this one. Now this time here, look, it's a case that we can only go so far. I'm going to definitely keep it within the border today. But it's up to you. If you want to extend it, or if you want to do another and take it onto your journal page, it might be that, you know, something you want to continue it with. But we'll see how it goes. There we go. And then down here, see that one's going to go over there. And that one's going to go over there. I mean, these nibs, they do wear down over time as well, so you just be aware of that. They'll still work. They do last quite a bit. I think what the temptation is to colour everything with this, though. You know, use an 08 for colouring with, or a brush. If you've seen that, there it goes again. It's a Sakura brush. I use that for filling in if I've got lots of black to use. Or you can get a size 08 nib, which I don't have any in my little stash here. I've only got the narrow ones. Okay. All right, so let's just sort of finish these edges a little bit, shall we? So this one, we just sort of pull it up here a little. You see it's creating this almost sort of funny, slightly shaped square kind of thing. That's it. We just need to complete it. Okay, so here, look, it's going to go this way. And then, of course, I'm going to ignore the corner there a bit. This way is going to go there and there. You see, it just sort of finishes that edge off. There we go. And that one. All right. Okay. I think at this point, I'm actually going to bring in another tile, or the stencil if you've got one, and I'm just going to draw in that border. Just so we've got something to work to, we know where we're sort of headed. Okay, if you want to come in, you can do that freehand, but it's up to you if you want to do a slightly straighter one. Okay, Just working it in there. And of course, you've got one of the little rulers in the pencil box. You can go ahead and use that one. There we go. All right. So this is where we're at so far. Okay. Ready for the next bit? Okay, I'm going to bring it in. And I'm going to focus on these sort of diamond shapes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to aura inside that diamond shape. There we go. I'll do the same there. Not wanting to stray too far from that edge. Just sort of keep it within shape. There we go. All right, so, all right, I'm going to do those two sides. And then I'm going to do those two sides. That one there, that one there. Okay. So I'm hoping that you've gone in quite lightly with your pencil so you won't be seeing the pencil grid underneath anymore. As I tend to press on with mine so you can see it on the camera. There we are. Okay. And then see even this one at the bottom there, we're still going to get a little bit of that in. And then of course the same there. So you treat everyone as an individual. Okay, oh, we've got this one here, haven't we? So let's have a see. That one would go that way, that way, that way, and that way, because it's going to have that in there. There we go. All right. So here we go. Full-sized one again. So aura that side, aura that side. Turn it slightly, and then along here, and along here. I'm going to just do that one there while I've got it in there. I might as well do that one as well. There we go. And then again, finding these sort of diamond kind of shapes. And we're just going to aura the two sides, turn it round, and then aura the other two. There we go. And same with this one. Just being gentle. If you want to turn your tile every time you do a line, that's fine. So, whatever's comfortable for you, however it works. So don't rush this, just take your time with it. A little bit at a time. See, will I see any of that? Maybe I'll see a little bit in that corner, look. It's all about imagination, isn't it? And just sort of imagining where that line is going to end up. And then whether you feel that it needs to have that extra line in there. Okay. So in there to this one. And back round that one. And then into this one. Alright, let's have a look at where we're at so far. Oh, okay. So, got this kind of odd kind of shape going on now. So into the next section, let's have a look now. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Okay, let's have a focus on, I'm going to use one of these sort of shapes here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bubble. Here we go, around this one. So that's where my bubble is. I'm going to go to the side here. And I'm going to create a little line that side. And a little line that side. Okay. Now going underneath, I can just see a little bit there. A little bit there, so it's sort of going all the way around. So let's add another. Okay, all the way around. So I've sort of got a bit of a target there, haven't I? So I'm just going to fill that bit in there. Now I know it's only a small section, so I'm not worried about using my thin pen for this. There we go. Okay. I suppose I could have been a little bit neater there, but that's all right. So let's go to the other side of this shape, and I'm going to do the same thing again. Create a little sort of bubble round. It's more oval in shape, isn't it, really? And then slightly larger around. Okay, I'm going to fill that one in. And I'm going to fill in round here. Now it depends on how you draw your shape as to whether you see much of that first little bubble at all. Okay, yeah, let's have a look at that. You see? Okay, so then I'm going to Can't do one here because I'm underneath, so I'm going to carry on doing this one here. So there we go. Not going to see much at all of that one. And then again, second little row, round it goes. And then fill in that section, whatever you can see there, and into this section. Just working my way around. There we go. Okay, so this one, if I imagine it's about here, I'm not going to see anything there, so I'm not going to do one on that one. So I'm going to come to the next row, and then in and around, just as before, and then back around as we go, and just fill that bit in, and then again fill this bit in. Okay, no rush, just taking my time. Okay, and then again to this side, so just as before. Let's put that little sort of oval shape in there, and then go around that shape, so I've got two, and again fill in that section, and then fill in that section around the outside. Okay, and then moving on. So again, I'm still within these sort of slightly sort of curvy square shapes, and I'm just working my way around, and then same again. All right, then fill in that little bit, and then around, and into that one, and into that one. Okay, so then again, coming to this one here, I'm going to see this little bit here, look. A little bit there, look. I'll get a little bit in there, so exactly the same as before. Just filling in these little sections. A little bit there. Okay, just enjoy adding that little bit of black there, just a little bit of drama in. Working my way around. Same with this one, round we go. So I'm not going to see much of that one at all. And then around again. And then just going to fill that section in. And then in we go with that one. There we go. Just working my way around. Okay. Oh, Catherine, you keep going. Who knows how it's going to end up? And you know what? Once you've done it once, you then have another go later, and you'll see a difference. You never know. You know, if there's something not quite, the same as mine, don't worry about it. Okay. When you say to get more tortillon, do you mean to get more out of it? You can, yeah. You could actually take it all the way down to the finest nib. You see, I've just turned it now, so they're all going that way, because I'm going to repeat this. If you find that your tortillon's a little bit blunt on the end, or it's really full of graphite and it doesn't really do what you want it to, get yourself a nail file or a bit of sandpaper and file it to a point, and that will sort it out. If you find sometimes with your tortillon, if it starts to unravel a bit, they do sometimes if you've had them a while, then you can glue it back down with PVA glue. It's just paper at the end of the day. So yeah, there's plenty of life in a tortillon. I know they're not very expensive, and they get a little bit tatty around the edges, but they'll still work. That's it. Okay. So I'm repeating the same pattern here, going all the way around. See this one, I can't quite get anything in there, but that doesn't matter. Adding in the second row, just filling in that little bit in the centre, and then filling those bits. There we go. Okay, same again, look. Okay, into this one. Yeah, Bev, I agree. Sometimes you've got to try it a couple of times. Please don't think that I get my tiles right first time. I come across some that are a little bit challenging. You know, they're entirely doable. It's just breaking it down so I can teach it. And I know sometimes I don't get it right all the time. Sometimes I might not explain it as clearly as I might. So it might be worth at times shutting me up. Oh no, that takes some doing. Yeah, just shutting me up and just watching it without anybody, you know, talking or anything. Sometimes that helps, just watching. Okay, right. Oh, Christine, yeah, that's a good idea as well. If there's something you're not sure about, yeah, we want you to be quite spontaneous and work straight on a tile, but I have no problem, and you shouldn't feel in any way less of a tangler if you do a little bit on some scrap paper first. So whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you want to do. These tiles are there for your enjoyment and for your, you know, mindset. They're not about stressing you out at all. And you know, if there is one you try and you think, I just don't get it, then just don't worry about it. Just move on. And maybe give it a couple of weeks and go back to it and give it another go. You might be surprised. Well, thank you, Bev. But yeah, I do my best, and I know we don't all learn at the same rate, and we don't all learn the same way. I mean, being a teacher for a few years has certainly taught me that. So I do try and mix it up a bit, but there's certain things you've got to sort of say, this is how it's done. But please don't think any less of anything. If you've got to sketch it first, it's fine. You do what's comfortable for you, and you find your own way. I just say, this is how I do it, and if that works, great. If not, there's lots of other ways of doing it. And as you know, there are other teachers out there as well. There are other people who teach Sanntangle. So, you know, don't feel that disloyal if you go and look at somebody else. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. And yes, Johanna, kettle's on. There we go. So, okay, we've got a starting point, haven't we? We've got something here that's a little bit different. So at this point, I'm going to put my black pen away and I'm going to come in with that darker grey. Now, if you haven't got grey, please don't worry about it. Or, you know, you might decide you want to come in with a colour. That's absolutely fine too. But let's just see how we go. So I'm going to focus in on these shapes, you know, these sort of round, slightly curvy square shapes. And I'm going to use these grid points to sort of help me. So I'm going to start at the edge here and I'm going to work my way in. So let's have a look. I'm not going to go directly to a point. So I'm going to work my way, there we go, from one side to the other. You see, it is quite dark grey, but you can see the contrast between the black and the grey. Okay? And then whether you want to do the same look or the same. Okay? I'm going to turn it round and I'm going to do the same from this side now. I'm going to draw from here down and from here down and then along and along. So I've got this lovely little shape going on there. Okay? So let's find another solid one of those. Here we go. So from this point, look, down. You see, I'm not going to the point. I'm not sort of joining these two together. They're meeting at that bubble in the middle, but they're not meeting each other. Straight on into the next. Okay? So if I turn that around, same again. Let me go with that one. And down here. And again. And again. So let's have a look at that in context. There we go. You see? So here we go. Into this one. Now if you want to do all of these first and then turn your tile round and do the others, that's absolutely fine. I don't want to sort of lose you if I can help it. So I'm doing each one as we go. Okay. So see, we've got part 1 here, but I've still got those sections that I can work to. And then there. Okay, so I could do this row, look, that way. And then there. And then into this one. And then along here. And then around. And then this one. And you see, I'm actually going to the very edges if I can. Work my way through. And then that one, I've got to imagine really where that one's going to. And then back around. And again, just sort of imagine where those end sections are going to be. You know, they don't have to be exact. It's not what it's about. Okay, see, I'm going to, even on the end here, let's have a look. There's still going to be a fall off from that. There we go. Once the end, this one here. So it's going to go that way. And then that one. Okay. And then here we go, down into here. Into here. And then again, back out. And then from here to here. So it's the same curve, the same pattern every time. Just going from one to the other. Now, of course, I'm doing this in grayscale. I'm going to bring the pastels in. But there's nothing stopping you using your coloured fine liners. That would be really nice. And, you know, working it in different colours. The same with the tile on Wednesday. If you were to do each layer in a different colour, maybe that would sort of help clear things up a little. It's worth a try, isn't it? Just to see what happens. So here we go. I'm coming back down now, look, and I'm just filling in those sections. As we go. Taking my time. I'm just working from one to the other. Way down. Okay, let's have a look at that. So this is where we are at the minute. Ooh, okay, quick sip of tea, being that Leslie's made it me. And we have Jaffa cakes today. But not just any Jaffa cakes, we have Marks and Spencer's Jaffa cakes. Okay, we're ready for this next bit then. Let's go a little bit larger. Okay, so we're going to focus on these little sections here. Let's just add a couple of little flicks in there. Same on this one. Just turn it round. Again. Okay. And then looking at the space here, I'm just going to aura inside the space. There we go. And same this side. Just taking it in, following those curves. Maureen, they say they're Jaffa cakes, but they're biscuits. They are, aren't they? Posh biscuits, aren't they? You know, if you're going to have a cake, you want it a little bit raised. Unless it's my baking. Now, sometimes it's all right. yeah, I think they're buttering me up for something. Okay. So you can see what, well, you couldn't see what I've done there. I've just done it. I do apologise without even showing you. Let's do that one again. Here we go. So I'm going to create a little curve from one to the other. A little curve. A little curve. And then I'm just going to put a little bubble in the middle, and any of the gaps I'm just going to fill. I do apologise about that. I just got carried away into it. There we go. You see? One to the other to the other. And then just in we go and filling in. Okay. All right. And in we go with the other. Filling that. So that's, let's have a look at that. There we go. Oh, no. All right. So that's our first sort of shape in that section done. quick munch on a Jaffa cake. And on to the next one. What do you mean if they get left out? Do Jaffa cakes ever get left out? Not eaten? No, surely not. Oh, did you, Carol? Do you know what? Sometimes we have to treat ourselves. You go. Absolutely. It's in moderation, isn't it? As long as you don't do it with every cup of tea, you're all right. There we go. Okay. All right. And into this one. So even if you're using a black pen, you're still going to get a really great effect, but you can see there now you're getting a little bit of a contrast between the black and the grey. But it just sort of gives it a little bit of something. Okay. Oh yeah, raspberry ones. Yeah, I think these are, what are these? These are, these might be raspberry. But we've had the cranberry ones, you know, the Christmassy ones. I like the peach as well. And if I'm honest, the peach ones last longer because John doesn't like them. So I can have a packet of those in for a while. Okay. We're on focus now. We're all thinking about food again, aren't we? There we are. Just, in we go. Got a little bit on the edge there, see? Just a little. Okay. Let's fill in this one. So we're going to add those little lines in, whether you put 2 or 3, just from that centre. And then aura on the inside and add those little curves. Little bubble. Fill the bits. Alright, here we go again. Aura. So I'm just filling inside that shape. I'm adding a little curve on each of those lines, little bubble, fill in the gaps. Yeah, sorry. I did, yeah. Alright, but you know, it's Friday. Yeah, not that we'll be going to the cinema this weekend. No. I think I've got some design work to do this weekend. I'm going to sit and draw. That'll be nice. We brushed the dogs last night. That was interesting. And Seth absolutely loves it, but it was like having an extra dog when we'd finished. And oh, have you give up? I've not even started, honestly. It's not something I eat a lot of. I've actually still got 2 panettones in the cupboard from Christmas, unopened. So John's a cake person, but he likes it with custard. Not so much. On occasion. There we go. And to the next one. See, this one is just a really nice one when you actually get round to doing it and I'm not there talking at you. It's really relaxing because it's very, very repetitive. And it's just about filling those sections as you go. And you can work just on one section, one of those shapes at one time. And everything else can sort of stay out of the way. It's not needed. There we go. So it's not even got to think, where am I going to put it? Where's this particular tangle going to fit? It's all fitting within those grid spaces. So you've got complete structure there, small spaces, and you just keep filling it in, working your way down. We're adding more and more detail as we go. There we are, so just adding those little bits in there. It's just nice to have that little bit of colouring in there, isn't it? Just if there's space to do so. No rush. Alright. So here we go. Just into this little section now. We're not far off. I'm going to put my little lines in. There we go. And then back into that shape with those curves. There we go. It's just come a little bit larger in there. See, I'm not particularly being massively neat there. They're so small, so it doesn't really matter. There we go. A little bubble. Fill the gaps. There we go. And I suppose unless you look really closely at your own, you're not going to see it at this minute level anyway. So don't worry about it. There we are. Just enjoy it. So who's going to be taking part in the next tangle swap then? I think it's going to be a good one. Of course, we're going to be doing that. It's always the third Monday in the month I actually do that, because I know there was some people, you know, we did the clock on the show the other week and I didn't even get a chance to demo it, so I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration on Monday at 2, just to show you, you know, a couple of little pointers about the clock, and then the Monday after it'll be the tile swap again. Oh, okay, so you see I'm just now filling in, and they're just really little bits on the ends, so there's not that much detail to do there. Oh, that's lovely. I haven't put you off then, we're still up for this. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, it was really nice to see them all, it really was, you know, all laid out. Absolutely remarkable. So, yeah, you've done great. So who knows, you might find that, you know, you might, whatever tangle I go through, you might be doing this particular tile with that pattern. All right, there we go. See where we're at so far. So you see with the grey now, it's sort of given it that little bit of depth in a sense. So I'm going to do it a little bit more, and I'm going to come in with the lighter grey. Now again, please feel free to stick with the black. Well, it's up to you. If you want to come in with a different colour at this point, that'd be fine. All right. So coming back in, and now I'm going to focus my attention on this shape here. All right, let's have a look at it. Okay, so let's look at it this way. See, so I've got the horizontals that way. Okay, so looking at this shape here, I'm going to sort of repeat it a little bit here. So I'm going to come from this, see, from this point and bring it down, and then from this point and bring it down. You see, it's almost mirrored. Okay. Nadia, I'm going to have a look. So we're doing some tidying up, and if I've got any mechanisms left, so that's the main thing, it's the mechanisms that we need, I'll let you know. Okay. Alright, so again, I'm just working my way down, you see? So I've just sort of I've just mirrored that shape there and that shape there. Okay, see this one again. So again, I'm just going to mirror that shape there, and then bringing it back here to there. Okay, so let's come to the next row. You see I'm keeping my tile, it's in line with my body, so I can see sort of a little more clearly where these lines are going. And here, onto this one. And then along here. Okay, and then this one, same again, along there. Okay, so if I then take it further along, see I've got a couple this side now. So same again, look, from there to there, from there to there, same on this one. And up back, same again. Just following the same pattern each time. And then into this one, keeping it going. Okay, so have a look where we're at. Oh, Vera, didn't you? Oh, I do apologise, that is totally my fault. Please, can you message me after this just to remind me, and I'll get you one in the post? Oops, yeah, Me having a silly moment, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around now. You've seen that this is going this way now, because what I'm going to do is repeat that process. You see, so I'm going to mirror that to there and that to there. You see? And the same here, there and there. So I've got this sort of little diamond-esque kind of shape coming in, haven't I? Same again, like so. Look, following this triangle shape, I'm going to bring it down just like before. And this one, you see? Okay. Same with this one. Okay. Let's move it along. So again, same again. So you've got this sort of shape here. So I'm going to sort of come over and bring it back round. So exactly as what I've done before, but it's now just creating this slightly different pattern as we work our way along. Just keep focused with it. Just follow what it's doing. Don't look at the rest of the tile. Just look at this individual little piece that you're doing at the time. Okay, so here we go again. Look, from here to here. It's nice and gentle. There's no rush. And into this one. Okay, and there, and there. And to this one, and this one. Okay, let's have a look at that. Oh, Chris, yeah, but you'll come back, you'll do it, you'll come back stronger. All right, so you can see now we've got quite a detailed pattern in here, then we've got something a little bit different in here. Is how it's sort of built up. So let's come on in now with a little bit of pastel. Now, if you don't want to put colour on it, it's fine, don't worry about that. You can go in and use your pencil just exactly the same as I would, as I'm using the pastels. So here we go. I'm going to come in, I'm going to start with, let's have a bit of the purpley colour, all right? Now these pastels are very, very chalky, and that's what we want in a pastel. It just means that we can sort of use them with a tortillon. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to focus on these shapes here, and I'm just going to bring a little bit either side of that shape, see? And then the same this way. Okay, now I'm not trying to colour it in or fill the whole thing. I'm just at the moment, I'm applying some of that almost chalky sort of texture, you see? So a little bit following that line. See, I've not even gone all the way up the line. I'm just adding some to those edges. All right, just like that. So you can sort of hear it scrape along the paper almost. Might get a little bit there. And see this bit might touch on the sides, not much. Okay. Now at this point, you don't want to be putting your hands in that or smudging it across the page because they are very chalky. So it's all about coming on in and just, see, adding a little bit. Okay. And then a little bit here. So you see, I'm just applying it, not actually colouring in with it. There we go, little bits. So if you've got nothing planned this weekend, you can have a go at this in lots of different colours, different patterns. You can go quite creative with it. You could go even larger, that would be interesting. All right, little bits. Okay, so it looks a little bit rough, there we go. All right, so I'm going to come in with a tortillon at this moment in time. I've cleaned it off a little bit, so I've used a bit of sandpaper. And all I'm going to do, let's go in with a bit large, I'm just going to ever so gently sort of soften it off, just like I would with my regular pencil. Same this side, but what I want to do is leave the section in the middle without any. So that's where we want our little highlight. Okay, you see, just softening it on each side. Okay, let's have a look at that. You see how you've got that little white line, that highlight in the centre. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. See this one here, I'm just going to touch a little bit there. And it's just, if you were using a regular pencil, this is what you'd be doing with your tortillon and your pencil. And you'd still be aiming to soften it off a little and then have a little bit of highlight in the middle there. There we go. All right, keep working it down. So just be gentle with it. You know, we're not trying to sort of drag it and colour the whole thing in. We're just sort of softening the edge just to ease it in a little bit. And then in with another one. Now, of course, if you find that your grid is a little bit heavy and you can still see it underneath, then it might be worth at this point, you know, just going in with a rubber and just rubbing it out before you put this on. But I'm going to leave mine in. I think sometimes it's nice to see those workings out. But if it's a little bit heavy, I know it's not always what you want to see. So just depends on what you're doing there. Okay. Carrie, they are pastel pencils. It's they're my Brunzil pastels. You can do it with pencil, but of course you can't use the tortillon to soften the edges. You're going to have to do that yourself by blending it with other colours or just being lighter than getting darker. The pastels work just as the regular pencil, you know, the graphite pencil and a tortillon would. It just moves it a little. Or you could use watercolour, that would be quite nice as well. You just add a little bit on there and again just use water instead of a tortillon. But whatever works for you. You don't have to. As we know, we like to add colour in there as well. I know pastels can be a little bit scary at times because we don't know what to do with them. I think the trick is don't try and colour with them. That's when it starts getting a bit messy because you just end up with loads of chalk everywhere. And you don't know what to do with it and it gets a bit muddy. Okay, so there's our purple there. See how that's really started to come out now? It's looking quite good. I'm pleased with that. Okay, so I'm going to come in now with my black pastel and I'm just going to add a little bit on the insides of that line, you see? So I'm not trying to particularly look at the patterns or the tangles underneath. I'm just working in the shapes. Okay, now because I've already used the tortillon to smooth the purple, it will move a little bit if I push it too much, but it's not going to move the same as doing them separately. Look at the difference already. Okay, so here we go again. Oh, didn't do that one up there. There we go. Again, I'm not trying to colour it in, I'm just adding some around the edge. The same here. See, you can just hear it dragging along that tile. Just sort of picking up in the texture of that paper there. And just working it round. Alright, there we go. And in we go. Okay, so quite a strong contrast there. Now tortillon wise, because it's the black, I can come back in with my tortillon I used the purple with because it's not really going to muddy up a black, is it? And again, just ever so gentle. You see, I'm just softening the edge. I'm not trying to pull it too far in. I'm just gently brushing over where I've already put that colour. Or colour, or not, as you might decide with black. It's not really a colour, is it? Okay, same again, look. Just little bits. Now this time you notice I'm not going round in swirls because I'm not wanting to move it too far away from where I've originally put the colour on. Just for the sake of us, then I will call it a colour. There we go. I'm just sort of brushing over it almost, just to work it together. Okay. I'm just going to turn it around so I don't put my hand in it all. Into that section. A little bit there. Into this. So then we've got a decision to make now as to what colour we're going to put with this purple. We could go yellow, which would be a completely different contrast. Opposite ends of the colour wheel, we could go blue or green, which would sort of harmoniously work together. We could use a bit of magenta or a bit of orange. Decisions. Yeah, they are a little bit, aren't they? Oh, let's go, that's decisions. I'm going to go orange. Okay, so let's work in these sections here now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a little bit out. You see, I'm working from the bubble. Let's go a bit larger so you can see that. From the bubble and just flicking outwards. Okay, from the bubble and just flick out. Now, you know all those unnerving kind of, oh my goodness, I don't know if I've got this right or not. All those tangles and all those lines are now underneath all this colour. And they add to it and they give that bit of depth. But they're not the focal point anymore. It's all about you and putting some colour on. Let's have a look at that. Is that what it is? It's the Jaffa cake. Yeah, I bet it is. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of that orange. Look, let's go a bit larger so you can see that. There you go. Just in that bottom corner there. Between those purple ones. You see? Just a little bit on the corner there. Nothing, not a load. There we go. All right, so this time, if I was to use the same tortillon, it would muddy my colours a little bit. So again, look, I've just sanded off or filed off the colours there. So it's a nice sort of clean tortillon again. And I'm just going to pull out the colours. You see, just pulling out colours. You see the difference? And again, I'm working from the bubble outwards. I'm not trying to fill the whole shape. Just adding the colour or just brushing it out a little bit. Okay, it's like a bit of a burst, isn't it? There we go. Right, to this one. Turning it round so I don't put my hands in all that. And then, in we go. Same again there. And same with that one. I'm not going to touch these little bits at all. Oh, Chris, it's a bit of practice. It's about keeping it going and trying it. Just keep going with it. Don't give up on it. Okay? They're a bit scary, I know, because they can go everywhere, which is why you want to just take your time with them. Okay? But don't try and add too much. You could always add a bit and then add more on it later. You see, I'm just going in on the outer edge. I'm not putting much on. Okay. Just a little bit. This is if you try and use it and colour the whole thing, you've got too much pastels on there and it's got nowhere to sort of go, nowhere to breathe. So just add a little bit on. And even if you've got to come on in and add more later, it gives you a little bit of control, doesn't it? Don't give up on them though, honestly, don't give up on them. Okay, so what I'm doing with this now, you see, I haven't got much on. I'm starting on the line and then just working my way along. You see, just pulling it a little bit. Okay, and same again. And just work your way along just a little bit. Same again. Now, pastels do take, they can take years to go through all the details and things, but less is more. Less is more. I'll do another tile next week with them so we can at least get some practice in. Okay, let's have a look. So here we go. Here's our Jaffa Cake inspired grid tangle. Looks a little bit different, doesn't it? What if I was to bring in just a black or monochrome one? There's our coloured one. Here's our monochrome one. You can see that I've just used black pen, and instead of adding the colours in, I've gone ahead and I've used just pencil. You can see I've changed it slightly where I've got my little bursts there. Here I've actually gone around the outer edge, and if I just lift it slightly, you can see I've got a little bit of gold in there. So it shows that you can just change it up a little bit if you want to. There's lots of different ways of doing it, but the last thing to do really is just to actually put a signature on them. So here we go. It's worth persevering and having a go. You know, trying a couple of different ways. And it'd just be interesting to see what you can come up with. And of course, you know, if you're going to do this, this would be a great background for a card. If you wanted to do it that way, you could just draw it. Instead of actually shading it, you could just ink around the outside of it. So lots of opportunities, lots of things to do there and play with and see what's going on. But do whatever you feel with it. Try different colours, try different ways, and see what happens. So, okay, with all that done and sorted, the weekend is upon us. Hope you have a lovely one. You know, don't drink too much. Don't go out partying, of course. Put your feet up, sit down, relax, get your tangle board out, do a little bit of tangling, and just enjoy the time. So, all being well then, I will see you back here on Monday at 2. I'll just go through how I decorated, or how you could decorate your clock, and I'll show you how to put the mechanism in. It's pretty straightforward, but I know sometimes you don't want to get it wrong, so I'll show you how to do that. Vera, if you could possibly just message me, please, with your address, I'll get you a mechanism in the post. Sorry, my bad. I'll get that sorted. So yeah, have fun with this one, and I will see you on Monday. All right. Oh, you might find that tomorrow your tiles start arriving, so that's exciting. Something to look forward to, isn't it? So okay, have a lovely one, guys, and I will see you Monday. All right, take care. Bye.